March of 2020, the President of the United States decided that those with federal student loans didn't have to make payments. We've now been in that environment for 2.5 years.
How is Biden affecting SoFi? To get a better understanding of this, we need to take a look at this chart. SoFi's lending segment keeps on growing, and you can see it up in the recent earnings. But that's with the burden of student loan repayments, which have been on hold for years. President Biden recently dropped fresh updates on the student loan payments. This includes a 3-part plan that answers the question of both borrowers and lenders. Will student loans continue to drag SoFi down in the up and coming months, or will SoFi continue to thrive regardless and continue beating its own records? Imagine what milestones SoFi can achieve with the student loan portion of its business back on track.
More money?
We've included a special bonus clip towards the end of the video where Anthony Noto shares his thoughts on SoFi and student loan forgiveness, so be sure to stick around until the very end. You don't want to miss any of this. In this video, we'll talk about the key details of the latest plan for student loan forgiveness and how it affects SoFi as a whole. We are, however, not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice, so always do your own due diligence. After years of waiting on student loan payments, President Biden will finally hear out the voice of the student loan borrowers or the cries of the lenders, which have had stuck revenue streams for more than 2 years.
Little help here!
Weeks before August 24th, people had been wondering about the final announcement, and there were 2 trains of thought. 1, student loans of all kinds would be canceled, or 2, there would be another delay like usual. Speculation filled the room with a cancellation of about 10,000 in student loans or higher, and even the White House confirmed it's just one of the rumors surrounding the state issue. But on August 24th, the White House finally dropped a 3-point plan to put the matter to rest and explain what comes next for the student loan borrowers. If you're an OG Wealth Gambit fan, you know we make things easy to understand. Now let's start with these 3 things you need to know about student loan relief and how it affects SoFi. As always, make sure to stick around until the very end. Number 1, the current state of student loan forgiveness. Back when he wasn't yet president, President Biden back then left a promise to take out the burden on skyrocketing costs of education. Long story short, it's either he will cancel $10,000 or $20,000 of student debt. How can you know if you're qualified? According to this White House fact sheet, if you're a Pell Grant recipient with loans from the Department of Education, you can get up to $20,000 in debt cancellation, while you can get as much as $10,000 in the same debt cancellation if you don't fall under the Pell Grant recipients category. You're considered lucky enough to receive this chance if your individual income is less than $125,000 or when your household income is less than $250,000, which, if we're honest, is a lot of people. That's a piece of highly classified information for the borrowers.
My name is Bond. James Bond.
For the lenders, what comes next might sting a bit. There will be one final pause on student loan repayment until the end of this year. We know you might have heard about this last year, but student loan repayments will resume in January next year. Number 2, another fresh start for the student loan system. What can we expect? At this point, you can expect 2 things to happen. First, a new income-driven repayment plan is set for low-income borrowers at 5%. This newly changed system will cap monthly payments for undergraduate loans at 5% of a borrower's discretionary income. According to the official article from the White House, this will lower the average annual student loan payment by more than $1,000 for existing and future borrowers. The second thing deals with the Public Service Loan Forgiveness, or PSL. This sets some perks for borrowers who spent time working at a nonprofit, military, or in a federal, state, tribal, or local government. As of now, more than 175,000 public servants have been enjoying the privilege of loan forgiveness, amounting to more than $10 billion in total. Number 3, reducing the burden of college education for students and taxpayers. As prices go insanely up, the president seems determined to keep college costs under control. According to the White House, the president has signed the largest increase to the maximum Pell Grant and gave nearly $40 billion for emergency student financial aid. Let's face the truth, if student loan forgiveness pushes through, sure, it's going to help millions of borrowers who need it to help fund their education, but one thing's for sure, it's going to be expensive for the federal government to lose loan and interest payments. At this point, SoFi has originations coming from student loans amounting to $398.7 million in Q2 this year, a decline of 54% compared to last year's. Thankfully, SoFi is well diversified and still has been able to make great progress and excel even without this. The student loan category in its lending segment has an average balance of about $48.5 thousand. If you're an OG in the SoFi space, we're sure you know SoFi is killing the game even without student loan repayment. Student loan repayment who? Since it went public, SoFi's lending segment is growing massively. Compared to last year, SoFi achieved 22% growth in lending products, and this makes up a total of 1.2 million lending products. Even if student loan repayments are acting like an anchor to SoFi's ship, preventing it from setting sail at full speed, let's hear a few words from Commander Noto himself.
Yes, so one of the things I want to make sure everyone has a historical perspective on is in March of 2020, the President of the United States decided that those with federal student loans didn't have to make payments. We've now been in that environment for 2.5 years. That was one of our largest and most profitable businesses at that time. We've gone on to drive, $1 billion in revenue in 2021 and our first full year EBITDA profitability, and we're doing record revenue quarters in 2022 with improving profitability as well, as we talked about. So we've been in a mode of optimization on the cost side of the equation for 2.5 years. This is not a new thing for us. And so we try to manage the business so that we'll drive both growth and durable improving profitability through the cycle, which is what you've seen so far. We have a lot of flexibility. We're investing at a really high rate. If you look at our lending business, it's operating at a really strong profitability. It's not as profitable as it would otherwise be with the student loan business, but still quite profitable.
Shouts out to everyone who commented on our previous videos. A special shout out to everyone in our Patreon community who continue to help support this channel and make these videos possible. For you diehard SoFi fans who want to join the private SoFi Discord, along with some other key perks, feel free to check out the link in the description or the top pinned comment. But anyways, to the OG Patreons, shouts out to these fine ladies and gents: Arthur Magazu, Wei Chu, Pietro Serra, Daniel Corbett, Mr. Welfare, Casey Patel, Jeff Sherman, Gregory Villar, Bo Park, Denzel, Shonda, Reginald Davis, Les Broadway, Christian Cardelphi, Kevin Bofron, Jay Bone, and Alan. We really appreciate all the support. Like always, thanks for watching. We greatly appreciate it. And until next time, peace.